good to have you here. This is Smart Means Business. And just a quick reminder, with the Zabu platform, it is easy for you to invest in securities and the bonds that are available. It is simple for the MTN subscribers. You can use the USSD code *292#. You follow the prompts, use your NIN for registration, and definitely start investing out there with Zabu. Zabu is powered by Alltex East Africa, and Zabu says, my money, my future. The markets do open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 8:15 p.m. You can invest in those securities to all the MTN subscribers. Well, besides that, now we return back to our topic of discussion, value addition in agriculture. And speaking of value addition in agriculture, we look at a sector that is very, very much so a sector that drives Uganda's economy. So I'm still with the CEO Bamunde Farm Supplies, that is Mr. Jagwe Musa Mude, who is taking us through all this. We were mentioning about the challenges before the break, and I would want the viewers to know which are the challenges that you're facing in the business.
Yeah, in the poultry sector, and actually in the general of all animal overview,
okay,
the biggest challenge and the biggest percentage that needs be is feeds.
Okay.
Because feeds takes 70% of animal input. So the biggest challenge we have, it is the quality of the feeds. That's one.
Okay.
You should ensure that you get the best quality of feeds. The prices, for example, the prices of feeds at the moment, they are very high because of the high prices of maize, and you know maize is a very big determinant in the feeding of animals. So the challenges are, as of now, we have the feeds being at high prices, not vis-a-vis with the price of eggs, the price of milk, the price of all the outputs that we put on the market. So if you are entering into this venture at the moment, or if you are in this venture at the moment, the biggest challenge we have now, it is the quality first, and the prices of feeds being very high. And this is because of the high prices of maize, we have not been having the best harvests of recent. So that is the immediate problem.
The immediate one. When you look at the long-term problems, because this looks to be short-term and something that we may have solutions for
in the
near future, either way between the government and the stakeholders, or maybe
even the natural issues.
Yes.
We have not had good harvests of maize and other.
But when you look at now the long-term challenges that you feel can only be, will always come, regardless of whether you're okay with the business or not.
The biggest challenge, and it is upon the government. The government has isolated also from the industry. It has not given that much support that we need. In terms of equipping farmers, in terms of making corporations, in terms of skilling farmers, these things we do it as companies, as individuals. The government has not helped in giving knowledge to farmers. For example, you know very well, we had NADS, we had other entities of the government, but the government had only put in money for the farmers to get chicks, without skilling them. It is only the private entities, Bamunde Farm Supplies and other companies that spring into action to skill these people. So I'm appealing to the government to come and skill the population. It is useless to give the people chicks without knowledge. You give people cattle without even adequate knowledge on how he or she is going to manage these things. They give people rabbits, pigs, etc. So I'm appealing to the government. This is a long-term problem. Come into action, amalgamate with the private entities, so that we can teach and skill our people, so that we can get what we want in the near future. But this system of you giving chicks, giving cattle, giving etc. without equipping people with knowledge, telling them exactly what they have to do, definitely we are just wasting time.
With the engagements that you've had with government bodies, is there any solutions that they've provided whatsoever? Because you say government really has been isolating itself from the sector. If you're to look at that in any, let's say, engagements within those in the exportation sector, have they provided any solution? Have they at one point mentioned that they can do this and do it better for you people?
Yes, but this is a sketchy work of it.
Okay.
It is actually so much politically motivated issues. We want something that is not even in a political way of doing things. We want something to be done for the country in general. You get my point?
Okay.
So these things that we're talking about, the government coming to help here and there, they are only influenced politically. So we want things to be done in general.
Okay.
And for the full purpose of what we want in the near future. Yes. So they have come, but it is not sufficient enough.
Okay. So you want at least more sufficiency from the government.
Yes.
Now, speaking of those challenges, you mentioned the other issue to do with prices.
Yeah.
What would be the better solution to deal with that one? For example, from the stakeholders' point of view.
When we talk about the stakeholders, you mean the farmers?
You people, the farmers, you in the value chain and all that. What do you believe should be a simpler way to do it to at least mitigate these prices?
The prices of feeds?
Yes, please.
The prices of feeds, of course, there are things that the government has clear hand on them.
Okay.
And those ones that are far away from the government is understanding.
All right.
For example, we've got the issue of having little rain for the past season. The government has little work to do on that. I'm only appealing to the population there that as we are in the rainy season,
okay,
we should go and do actually have enough maize in the next season.
Okay.
Because that's what we have to do at the moment. And also I'm appealing to the government to start supporting farmers in the sense of buying machines on the districts, on the local governments, giving proper seeds. You get me? Okay. And also skilling people how to do it. You've also had the issue of the government providing seeds to the people, and the people end up eating the seeds. You get my point? So that is a sense of ignorance. So the government should move an extra mile. If you are giving seeds, for example, for maize to the population, you go ahead, monitor it, evaluate, so that you see that these people are putting these things to the proper use.
Okay.
So if you have to go ahead to avoid these prices that are skyrocketing too much, season 1, season 2, the government should move ahead in giving seeds and moving ahead to monitor whether they are put into proper use. This system of the population eating the seeds, that should be do away with it.
All right, now for you who is joining us, by the way, in 2017 there was a Value Added Amendment Act, and this Amendment Act made it easier for the people in the sector, for example poultry mainly, to at least get an exemption from paying taxes. However, in the long run now, Uganda Revenue Authority says these people are supposed to be paying the taxes, and the questions would be, they are supposed to be paying taxes, which is VAT 18% and import duty of 10%. Now, in the last 5 years, what have you been paying?
We've been paying withholding tax.
Only?
Yes, and this is in the law. This is prescribed in the law.
Okay.
Because definitely, as you know, agriculture imports have been exempted from both the taxes. You get me? The VAT and also the import what? The import duty. So that is the reason as to why in 2017, the URA and the government had to exempt the farmers from paying these taxes. And why then now?
Okay.
First of all, we should ask ourselves, why now? And why then did they exempt? You get my point? So the government should ask, the URA should ask first, why did they exempt first?
Okay.
In 2017. And why are they coming up with the same implementation today? So I feel it is very unfair to the farmers, not only we the dealers in importing, because for us, when we put on the 18% and the 10%, that is 28% on a product. That means if I'm selling a product at 10,000 from Europe, for example here in Uganda, I'm going to add almost 30,000 shillings on that product. So I am asking the viewers there, will you be able to purchase such products? Definitely no. So I'm appealing to URA, as it exempted this taxation in 2017, it is in the same spirit that we are appealing to it to drop.
Okay. These taxes.
Yes.
Because I'm seeing here there is 10%. Now, the 10% is on import duty, then the 18% that is value-added taxes,
Yes.
of which we are supposed to be exempted according to the Value-Added Tax Amendment Act in 2017. So let's get into the issue to do with importation. You did tell me earlier on in our first engagement in the discussion earlier about the importation, the fact that there are a lot of other products that you import from countries like the Netherlands, reason being they at least make the production process easier and top quality.
The quality is so superb.
So when you get into this situation, does the government want you to avoid over importing? Because the reason why sometimes the government hikes the importation taxes is because they want Ugandans to support locally manufactured goods. So in any way, don't we have any prospects of creating these particular products for ourselves?
Definitely, in importing concentrates feed from the Netherlands, it doesn't mean that we are not using our local products.
True.
Because these concentrates cannot work in isolation of our products here. You use the concentrates plus the maize. We grow here in Uganda, the sunflower cake from Arua and Lira here in Uganda, from maize bran. So for you to say that the government would want us to use our local products, we already use them. There is no NFD concentrate can work in isolation with our local products. So that understanding that Bubu, you mean Bubu?
Yes.
The only Uganda and that of using our products, we do.
Okay.
And what we import that is not here, they are only the feeders and the drinkers and other machineries that are not made here in Uganda. But for the concentrates, we use the concentrates in support of our local products here in Uganda.
Okay.
So for the government to come up to say that they are working on supporting our local products, it is not clear.
Okay. Now, as we're summing up with our discussion, in your final remarks, I want you to at least also give some tips to someone who wants to venture into, for example, poultry feeds, people who want to deal with other farm supplies. What should they do as we're summing up?
First of all, you should have passion.
Okay.
You should love what you want to enter into. Because passion and love builds your confidence, much as you may get hardships here and there, but still you can move on. That's one thing. Two, you should look for skilled people like Bamude Farm Supplies, and you work with us. You get my point? Instead of venturing into a business when you are ignorant, when you don't have enough skills, when you don't know what to do, you find someone calls you and tells you that I want birds. Which birds? You should now be specific
on the type of bird you want to keep.
Yes. It is not a question of you wanting to venture into poultry without having specific knowledge on what you want to venture into.
Okay.
For example, you are in Masaka, very far away. You want to venture into meat birds. Who are you going to sell the meat to?
Okay.
You should first seek skills and knowledge. You go to people that have skills that understand all these dynamics of business, so that you get enough and get equipped with knowledge first.
Okay. This is off script. Which bird besides the hens that we know has more market here and out of the country?
I can say turkey, but poultry as in as in chicken stands a strong point.
Okay. So turkey will only come in
here in universities. Chicken and chips is the order of the day.
Very true.
So definitely I can't say another bird. If it is business.
If it's business. Yes, I basically wanted to do business. I wanted to talk about more from the business angle. All right, thank you very much for being part of our topic of discussion. I did mention that we had the CEO of Bamude Farm Supplies, that is Mr. Jagwe Musamude. I think Mude is a name to a certain footballer. There is a footballer we had called
Musamude.
Okay. You were once a footballer?
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
And now I'm a farmer.
No, you're a farmer. All right, there you have it. It has been a huge topic of discussion looking at value addition in agriculture. But as we come to the end of our topic of discussion, slightly stick around. We're getting back with SMB Insight. All right, now our SMB Insight is focusing on public financing. When we talk about public financing, setting national budget priorities is a key aspect on the growth and development of Uganda's economy. Now, in this way, government is able to detect potential sources of revenue through taxation and other priorities. Now, in the SMB Insight this morning, we have the Executive Director for the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, CSBAG, taking us through the importance of public financing and how it influences government on decisions to do with resource mobilizations. Here you have it. Okay.
Good, others are extremely very bad. And when a tax is very good, we appraise government. When the government is saying, we want to do tax exemptions on goods that we think are of service to Ugandans, we approve government. When government says we are taxing the rich more than the poor, we clap our hands because that is progressive taxation. But when the government comes up and says we are going to tax mobile money, then we are up in arms because that's a very bad tax. In fact, you are telling people, please don't use mobile money because you have put it. And yet mobile money is a service that is promoting inclusive finance. It's called financial inclusion for not only person. But also is we look at where government is not getting money. And I can tell you, rental tax, for example, is an idea that we brought. People are getting money from rent, but they weren't being taxed. It was an income. We are glad that they are doing that one. We also be able to tell government that there's tax evasion. People are not declaring what they are supposed to be doing. And that's why you see issues of stamps, e-freeze, increasing surveillance on our borders. Simply because people are entering with goods and services and are not declaring taxes. And we are losing money. So losing money means that URA government is going to increase tax rates on the already existing people. So the burden becomes heavy. So you find us engaging government on taxation in those areas. Right now we are on government on tax exemptions. We think that they are too much. And at the same time we think that we're not even monitoring them. Because I think we are ending up giving tax exemptions to chapati sellers, whom we call foreign investors. So we are now in arms with government, really, trying to see how can we make smarter decisions on tax exemptions. Because tax exemptions on a geopolitical level are difficult to abolish. Because all our neighbors are offering tax exemptions. But we can be smarter and get more money from tax exemptions. So on tax, that's what we do. On budget, we monitor. How much is government spending? Is spending on what? Is it the right amount of money? Is it the right project? And therefore you'll find us, for example, telling government, don't send the money for PDM now because we are not ready. People are going to eat the money. And I'm happy that as of now, government has not fully operationalized PDM, parish development model, because we were not prepared. There were no structures. We never had parish chiefs. We never had parish development committees. Do you know parish chiefs in this country don't have offices? Their job is to wake up in the morning from their house, they start roaming around the parish, and then they go back home. So if somebody has no office, how do you make them accounting officers? So you find us engaging government on that one. On rationalization we're talking about, we're telling government you are spending too much money in duplication of activities. You can't have 3 agencies delivering one service. Yet one agency could have done that. Then a study was carried out. We found we could save 1 trillion Ugandan shillings. So, and it goes on with also saving time to deliver that services. It reduces on the bureaucracy, but also it makes services easier to access and also deliver. So those are kind of things you find ourselves engaging with the government. So when the budget starts, for example, we are part of it. Like tomorrow, for example, the budget conference is being opened, and we are going to be part of it to tell government what are our concerns. And we tell them, look, number 1, number 2, and we tell them, and we want you to do this. So that's CSBAG, that's what we do. Has government been able to listen to us? Definitely it has listened to us. 10 years ago, they were not listening. Today, they are listening more because they have come to realize that we are adding value to development. If I tell you your mistakes, it's not because I hate you, it's because I want you to do better. But also, I've also learned how to tell people their mistakes. Instead of pinpointing on individuals, we pinpoint the problem. So, if, for example, we have leakage in the taxation system, we don't say this person is leaking. No, we say there is a leakage in the taxation system, fix it. So if there are people who are the cause, definitely are removed and the tax is fixed.
there you have it. Now, the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group is a coalition that was formed in 2004 to bring together the civil society organizations in this country and to focus more on resource mobilization and utilization of equitable and sustainable development. So in terms of monitoring economic growth and development, there is also enduring the issue to do with public finance management, which the government needs to take a huge decision on. All right, that is it for our SMB Insight. After the break, we head on ground with Berija Andrew.